I welcome also from India to you. And specifically, after listening Jayanta Kumari Sarmah from Assam regarding the media, now I'm shifting my topic to sixth schedule of the Constitution of India and its politics in Northeast India. Very specifically, if you look at, this is a kind of schedule which is incorporated in the sixth schedule part of the Constitution of India. That is very interesting, that while India became independent, and if you look at the formation of the Constituent Assembly, then in Constituent Assembly, one special committee is being constituted under Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to look at the administration of tribal people. And a subcommittee of that committee is also formed under the chairmanship of Gopinath Bordoloi, the then Prime Minister, later Chief Minister of Assam. And that committee suggested, after visiting almost all the parts of the present Northeast India, to the Constituent Assembly, a special type of administrative mechanism, and that mechanism is being incorporated in the Constitution of India in its sixth schedule. And this sixth schedule is sometimes described as constitution within a constitution, or a miniature constitution for certain scheduled areas in India. If you look at the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India, there is a provision in Article 244(2) and Article 275 subclause 1. What is the provision? That the provision of administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. And interestingly, if you look at the provisions of the Constitution later in 73rd and 74th Amendment, Panchayati Raj system is being adopted. But this Panchayati Raj system, which is basically for the grassroots level of people, that has not been incorporated in the Constitution for the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India. Therefore, here in this Article 243M in Part 9 of the Constitution of India, exclusively exempted sixth schedule areas from its applicability to the part. So that indicates that Panchayati Raj is not to be implemented in sixth schedule areas among the provisions stated by the article. The following is very important, that I am just quoting the article of the Constitution of India, that nothing in Part 9 shall apply to the scheduled areas referred to in Clause 1 and the tribal areas referred to in Clause 2 of Article 244 of the Constitution of India, unquote. So this is referred in Article 243M, subclause 1 of the Constitution of India. So if we look at the Constituent Assembly debate, that the advisory committee, that what I have referred already, is very much willing to look at the basics of tribal administration of that time. So if you look at the history, then we find the Government of India Act 1919, Government of India Act 1935, and then the Constitution later. So in Government of India Act 1919 and 1935, some of the areas of Northeast India were marked as unadministered area or partially administered area, and these were not even touched by the colonial administration in different occasions. So there is a separate kind of administrative mechanisms if we look at the history of the time of administration. Now, if we look at the Constituent Assembly debate, in Constituent Assembly, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, moved the historic objective resolution, which was adopted on 22nd January 1947. And what it said, this resolution proclaimed that India would be an independent, sovereign, democratic republic wherein inter alia, adequate safeguards shall be provided for the minorities, backward and tribal areas, depressed and other backward classes. That's a kind of historic resolution. And on the basis of that, so many decisions are being changed, incorporated, including the sixth schedule. Now, what were the policies of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru? The policy of winning the confidence of the tribal people. Secondly, promoting a kind of closer contacts and intercourses between the tribal and non-tribal, which was not there in what I have already referred briefly about the Government of India Act 1919 or 35. While you exclude one area from the administration, then the close contact or interaction is not possible, and ensuring the protection of interests of tribal in their lands and autonomy to save their lives as they desire, which are very important to be looked into. And this idea, if we look at behind the sixth schedule, is to provide the tribal people with a simple administration of tribals so that they could safeguard their own customs and tradition, and to provide them maximum autonomy in the management of their tribal affairs. So for this region, if we look at the administration of sixth schedule, then what we find, we have seen that in original sixth schedule, there were two parts, part A and part B. In part A, United Khasi Jayanta Hills District, Garo Hills District, the Lusai Hills District, the Naga Hills District, the North Kachar Hills District, and Mikir Hills districts were incorporated. And in part B, Northeast Frontier Tract, including Balipara Frontier Tract, Tirap Frontier Tract, Abor Hills District and Misimi Hills District, and Naga tribal areas, which are non-hills areas, were being incorporated. Now, after that, we find, if we look at closely these two parts, then we find that all these were incorporated in the state of Assam that was originally known at the time of independence. Now, after that, we find a total reorganization in different phases of the state of Assam, and similarly, we find a kind of reorganization and relocation of six schedule autonomous councils. Now, this is very interesting. Now, while we look at the reorganization of Assam, for example, Meghalaya state is being created out of the United Khasi Jayanta Hills District and Garo Hills District. The both Hills District, which were in part A of the sixth schedule, were recognized as the state of Meghalaya. And so similarly, if we look at the Lusai Hills District, which is also in part A, is being converted later on to Union Territory and then state of Mizoram in 1987. So Union Territory status in 1972, it's already written. So if you look at the status of all these original six schedule councils, then what you find that Naga Hills District or Naga tribal areas are being incorporated as Nagaland state, and these in part B, Northeast Frontier Tract, Balipara or Tirap or Abor or Misimi, these tracts were incorporated firstly as NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, then the state of Arunachal Pradesh, Union Territory, and then a full-fledged state. So the whole process of reorganization, after this reorganization, what we find, a different kind of sixth schedule administration. For example, as I have already said, that Lusai Hills District is being converted to the state of Mizoram, constituted a full-fledged state. Now, three very small, teeny, six schedule autonomous councils are being constituted within the Lusai Hills. That means within the state of Mizoram. So in the southern part of Mizoram, near Lunglei, if you go from Aizawl to Lunglei, then you will reach very southern part of the Mizoram. There are six scheduled autonomous councils were being constituted: Chakma Autonomous Council, Lai Autonomous Council, and Mara Autonomous Council. So similarly, you will not find the name of Tripura here. In the hills of Tripura, again, another six schedule for the tribal people residing in Tripura, another six schedule autonomous council is being constituted. So at present, we find six schedule in four states of Northeast India: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So regarding Mizoram, I have already talked about that the Chakma District Autonomous Council, very small territory, and Mara District Autonomous Council and Lai District Autonomous Council. And regarding Tripura, I have already pointed out the hills areas, the tribal people of hills areas are being incorporated as Tripura Tribal Areas District Autonomous Council, TTADC. And almost the whole state of Meghalaya is under sixth schedule as Khasi Hills District Autonomous Council, the original sixth schedule council, and Jayanta Hills District Autonomous Council, the original sixth schedule autonomous council, and Garo Hills District Autonomous Councils are being incorporated within the state of Meghalaya. Then in Assam, the case is very interesting. The original two autonomous councils, the North Kachar Hills District Autonomous Council, which is being renamed as Dima Hasao Autonomous Council, and the Karbi Anglong District Autonomous Council, KAK, and later the Bodoland Territorial Council is being constituted. So Bodoland Territorial Council is the first sixth schedule autonomous council which is constituted for the Plains tribes. So all other six schedule councils are for Hills tribe, and actually the idea of six schedule autonomous councils was being coined for the Hills district, Hills tribals. So if we look at these two autonomous councils, North Kachar Hills District Autonomous Council, renamed as North Kachar Hills Autonomous Council, and again later Dima Hasao Hills Autonomous Council, and the Mikir Hills District Autonomous Council, later renamed as Karbi Anglong District Autonomous Council, and these were in present Assam. So the reorganized Assam, the present state of Assam, inherited two autonomous councils. So if we look at the demand for autonomy by democratic means, along with militancy and violence, it's a long history of demand for Bodoland, and again BSC and BTAD, then again BTR. So we find the formation of BTAD and incorporation of BTAD in 2003 in the sixth schedule autonomous council. So the 20th February 1993 has become an important day in history of Bodoland movement, because on this day the political movement of APSU BPSC formally came to an end. An agreement was known as Bodo Accord was signed by representatives of Government of India, State Government of Assam, and APSU BPSC. So tripartite kind of agreement is being signed. And formally, the Bodoland Territorial Areas District is being included in the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India. So if we look at the history, this is the, again, the BTR, what I basically trying to focus is that the process of demands, the process of resistance, the process of feeling of people that their basic demands who are living at the grassroots level are not being fulfilled has been going on. And again, a historic peace accord is being signed on 27 2020 in the form of, and the BTR it was being come up. So the accord was signed between the government and four fractions of National Democratic Front of Bodoland, NDFB, All Bodo Students Union, APSU, and United Bodo People's Organization, UBPO. So now, if we look at BTC, then we find, or BTR present, we find 4 districts within it: Kokrajhar, Chirang, Udalguri, and Baska of Assam. And if we look at the BTR 2020, just I'm trying to focus that how these movements are going on, and how these settlements are being done between different the agreements between Government of India, Government of Assam, and different organizations who are specifically demanding autonomy for the tribal people. Now, if we look at, in a nutshell, the BTR Bodoland Territorial Region Agreement 2020, that all Bodo Students Union, APSU, and all the NDAB fractions signed the tripartite agreement. And the NDAB fractions are led by Ranjan Daimari, Govinda Basumotari, Dhiren Boro, and so on. And APSU President Pramod Boro, who is now BTR chief after election, and the Bodoland Territorial Council chief, BTC Hagrama Mohilari, also signed the accord. And Assam Chief Secretary signed the agreement. And so this BTR agreement is looking at so many issues regarding language, regarding safeguarding of Bodo people, increasing the number of seats. And Bodo language will now, according to this agreement, be an associate official language within Devanagari script in Assam. So safeguard the Bodo language and culture, and the number of seats in BTAD to be increased from 40 to 60. Now, some other academics type of demands are being also incorporated there regarding establishment of a central university in BTAD area, special industrial policy for BTAD, a kind of infrastructural questions are being addressed, railway coach factory to be set up, Sports Authority of India Center to be set up. And again, administrative mechanisms like DCSP will be appointed in consultation with the BTC authority, and National Sports University to be set up. So if we look at the welfare issues, these are also being addressed. These are very small issues, but through these issues, we may understand the needs of the people, the demand of the different autonomy movements, and how actually different governments are addressing the grassroots demands, and then dealing with how they are being handling the issues of autonomy and local administration. That Welfare Council for Bodo people living outside BTAD areas, that is they're also concerned that cancer hospital, the issue of medical college, and the process of expediting of the process of granting hill tribes status to Bodos living in hills areas, specifically in Karbi Anglong, then veterinary college, then so many other important issues. So what it is being said, that any delay in implementation of the clauses of Bodo Accord 2020 may prompt another disgruntled group to resort to the movement. These kind of questions are there. I not try to address the questions. Now I'm coming to a different aspect, that what type of structure of population there in 6th schedule. That if we look at the urban-rural division, then what we find that the whole 6th schedule area is specifically rural-dominated, rural-based. That's a very interesting connotation. We have seen the demands, we have seen the movements, we have seen the history. Now, through the lenses of BTAD, if we look at that in or through the lenses of Dima Hasao, if we look at, or Karbi Anglong, if we look at in BTAD, I have already pointed out that 4 districts are there. Then the dominance of rural population. Gradually, the townships are coming up, and the urban population has been increasing. Now, if we look at the village level democracy in sixth schedule administration, then during the early years of the constitution, there was no thought of elections at the village level. And hence, there was nothing unusual in the sixth schedule not paying attention to the democratic aspects of village self-governance. Now, with various rural development schemes and programs becoming village-centric, and with panchayats in non-scheduled areas, I've already pointed out how Part 9 is not being, Part 9 means of the Constitution means Panchayati Raj administration, and how Part 9 is not being implemented or incorporated for the sixth schedule administration, and increasingly becoming involved in implementation of such programs. The issue of village governance in scheduled areas came to the fore. So if we look at the state governments have continued to retain parallel development and administrative apparatus under their own command, this has led to functional overlap, I repeat, overlap and conflicts between them. So if we look at the overlapping between state dimension, the state's work, and the works of the autonomous councils, these are very interesting. Now, if we look at Ramachandran Committee recommendation regarding this in 2007, to remove all overlaps in functional responsibilities between state and autonomous councils. And it also says to need, emphasizing the need to set up democratically chosen village development committee to undertake decentralized participative planning from the village and habitation level. So if we look at the democracy at the village level, then if we compare the Gram Sabha in Panchayati Raj institutions, after 73rd and 74th Amendment of the Constitution in 1992, 93, 94, if we look at the constitution of Gram Sabha, establishment of Gram Sabha at the village level, village panchayats, that means that all these are like village parliaments, and all the adult villagers, electors are the members of the Gram Sabha, village parliament, and they participate for decision making for themselves. It's a kind of very direct democracy. If it's correctly, rightly executed, then in so many parts it's rightly executed. That created a kind of path-breaking difference. But in sixth schedule administration, which is concentrating for tribals, the election at the grassroots level has not been so much emphasized. So if we look at that, these are not functioning in a democratic spirit. So I have already talked about Panchayati Raj administration, that in tribal administration, we find bhagwam in the concept of decentralized representative structure. So that's one of the very important lacuna to be looked into. So the members of ADC would appear to be responsible to the constituencies in the district whom they represent, as well as the council itself to which they are accountable. So far as the constituencies are concerned, in some extreme cases, the elected members can get away with which is more responsibility in 5 years. So if we look at Nagaland, if we look at, which is not in sixth schedule now, I'll not refer, in Dima Hasao, the only active institution is that of Gaubura, who at one time might have discharged the function of representing the village community before governmental authority. So if we look at the situation, that the structure could be three-tier, if the decentralized administrative structure, that village area, district in Nagaland pattern, that may be, it's a very interesting points of study. I'd not like to explain more. Just I'm coming to a very important conclusion because time is not sufficient. So I'm skipping all these things. I'm trying to focus here on Second Administrative Reforms Commission, that in its 7th report, it has been observing that emerging areas of conflict is the rising disparity between autonomous councils and the local bodies established in pursuance of the 73rd Amendment, that a kind of differentiation is being seen, as the latter are being more liberally funded through state finance commissions. But here, this has not been made. So this disparity is likely to become particularly important in Assam and Tripura, where both categories of local bodies coexist. Now, some questions are being asked in a very grassroots level empirical study, that do you attend any meetings, discussions of the village council? That is being okay. Here, this questionnaire is being administered in BTAD, Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, Deori Autonomous Council, and Rabha Assam Autonomous Council. I think you are very much in confusing state that I have not mentioned till now about the Deori Autonomous Council and Rabha Assam Autonomous Council. For this explaining this, I have to explain the whole tribal administration scenario in Northeast. I'm referring Assam. In Assam, I have already pointed out that Dima Hasao Autonomous Council, Karbi Anglong, and BTAD or BTR, 3 6 schedule autonomous councils are there. But apart from these 3, 6 other statutory autonomous councils are being constituted till 2005. In 1995, 3 statutory autonomous councils through a bill act passed by Assam Legislative Assembly, these are being constituted. In 1995, Rabha Autonomous Council, Tiwa Autonomous Council, and Missing Autonomous Council is being constituted. So Missing is the 2nd largest tribal plains tribe of Assam, next to Bodo. For Bodo, 6 scheduled autonomous councils is being constituted, and for missing people, the missing tribe, the missing community, the Missing Autonomous Council is being constituted in 1995, which is the 2nd largest, I have already mentioned. And similarly, for Rabha community, Rabha Autonomous Council is being constituted, and for Lalung or Tiwa community, this Tiwa Autonomous Council is being constituted. Similarly, after 10 years, in 2005, again other 3 autonomous councils are being constituted. Deori Autonomous Council, here in this slide you are looking at that Deori Autonomous Council, Thengal Kosari Autonomous Council, and Hunwal Kosari Autonomous Council. All these are the tribes. Deori is a tribe. Recently election is being held, and the questionnaire is being conducted in all these 6 schedule and non-6 schedule, that means statutory autonomous councils. Again, one thing I should say, that in Assam, there is a tendency that those autonomous council who are in 6th schedule, they are trying to demand in various times to form a full-fledged state through the process of reorganization. And the autonomous councils, statutory autonomous councils who are not in 6th schedule, they're again trying to promote themselves, quote unquote, promote themselves to the 6th schedule status. For example, the Rabha Assam Autonomous Council, the people, the Rabha people, they are trying to, a movement has been, they engage themselves in different kinds of movements in different times to recognize Rabha Assam Autonomous Council as 6th schedule autonomous council, or to incorporate in the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India. Now the question is, do you attend any meetings, discussions of the village council? So the people, the respondents who are very frequently attending is only 1.7%. Now, similarly, the government of autonomous council sincerely works for the people. So this is the result, that 22% are only agree fully. So another question is, in government offices, works as done timely, file smoke fast, staffs are cordial, agree fully is only 7%. So this is the scenario that our politicians are honest, agree fully 5.88%, disagree 59%, 59.75%, and agree somewhat 22.50%. So nowadays, it is possible to get any information from government, agree fully 23.88%, disagree 11.88%. So new issues in sixth schedule are also being coming up. So many, I'm not focusing so many other questions. Sixth schedule that the Constitution 125th Amendment Bill was being placed in Parliament, but it has not been passed. Again, the question of coming up, that the citizenship questions and so many new areas are there to be looked into for by the researchers, but I'm not incorporating all the things. I'm just briefly trying to focus to understand the politics in sixth schedule or the administration in sixth schedule. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. It was very, very interesting presentation, and didn't interrupt you because for it was yes, very valuable and interesting. And I think students have some questions about it. Please, students, ask what you want to ask.
I have the question. I'm interested in how is sixth schedule due to digitalization.
Please again repeat.
How is sixth schedule due to digitalization?
Digitalization.
Yes.
The last
word
word.
Connected now.
Okay. In the age of digitalization.
Yes.
Yeah, Amina. Yeah, thank you, Amina. Yeah. So basically, if we look at the present age of digitalization, then what we find that the digital movement or improvement of digital facilities, capabilities, or digital involvement of people is very much developed. This is in private case, but in case of administration, the digital mode of file transformation or transfer of file, digital mode of communication or digital style of infrastructure has not been developed so fast. So the function has been conducted in a traditional way. No doubt there is an impact of digitalization in private initiatives, but structurally, institutionally, what we are looking at digital improvement of digital connectivity in surroundings, but the six schedules are far behind to compete with the digital advancement in various other surroundings or the environment surrounding the sixth schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I think one of our students, her work is connected with your topic. And
yeah,
yes.
Professor Sarmah, I'm Alena Plotnikova. I'm writing graduate work for about Arunachal Pradesh. I would like to know about the sources. My topic is place and role of the state of Arunachal Pradesh in India, position, status, stages of development. And I want to know about sources. It's very important for my graduate work.
Okay. As I have understood, you are working on Arunachal Pradesh, right?
On
Yeah.
tribal areas. Yes.
Yeah. So as I was talking on sixth schedule, the whole state of Arunachal Pradesh was under sixth schedule in a different form. That before creation of the state of Arunachal Pradesh, I think you have seen here in part B of the sixth schedule, original sixth schedule, part B, just you please look at the Northeast Frontier Tract, Balipara Frontier, including Balipara Frontier Tract, Tirap Frontier Tract, Abor Hills District, Missimi Hills District.
Yes.
These tracts were later transformed as NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency. And then this Northeast Frontier Agency, NEFA, which was within a kind of agency within the state of Assam, a kind of administrative mechanism that has been created between government of Assam and government of India, and then the present Arunachal Pradesh is being created out of that. And regarding the sixth schedule status, if you look at the state of Arunachal Pradesh, they have their own traditional system, but at the same time, the Panchayati Raj system is also being implemented. The Panchayati Raj system, you will understand very nicely through the part 9 of the Constitution of India. The part 9 of Constitution of India has been explaining the Panchayati Raj system, and that is implemented in Arunachal Pradesh. But simultaneously, if you look at the traditional administrative systems are being incorporated. And if you visit, if you look at the villages of Arunachal Pradesh, it's fully a hills area, and the people are observing their own, and so many languages, and the people are observing their own kind of system in different localities, along with the Panchayat Raj system. Yeah, thank you.
And can you share your mail in this chat? I want to write you.
Yeah, my mail is already given here. My mail is already given, so you may kindly note it down. And
Yes, we have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this mail, yeah, I think you have seen my email ID, correct?
I hope you will help Alena to find enough sources for